Hi there, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Pink Lady Presents. I have a program today that I am delighted to share with all of you. Look at this lovely lady standing beside me. I just said when I come back in another life, I'm going to be like her. And that lovely lady, her, is Ms. Claude Hall, and you are just delightful.
Oh, thank you.
And she is full of energy and talent, and just look at the way she is. I told her she should be a model. I mean, we got to get you into modeling.
All right.
That's okay?
I'll call you
That'd be a
back.
whole new career for you, singing and, now modeling. I would like our audience today to hear you sing first, give us a beautiful musical interlude, and then we'll talk about who Claude Hall really is. You got it? Love it? We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
Ms. Claude Hall.
Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make romance neath the cover of October skies, and all the leaves on the trees are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow. And I'm trying to please to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low. And all the night's magic seems to whisper and hush, and all the soft moonlight seems to shine in your blush. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? Can I just have one more romance with you, my love? Well, I wanna make love to you tonight. I can't wait till the morning has come, and I'll know when the time is just right, and straight into my arms you will come. And when you come, my heart's been waiting to make sure you are never alone. There and then all my dreams come true, dear. There and then I will make you my own. And every time I touch you, you tremble inside. I love how much you want me, and that you can't hide. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? Can I just have one more romance with you, my love? Baba dee, babu day, babu da. And I just have one more moon dance with you. Can I just have one more romance? Ba, ba,
Yes. Woo! Love it. Love it. Love it. More. More.
I've got another one for you.
Yeah.
You know how when you start a story and you think that it's going to last?
Been there.
Been there too. Oh my gosh. And, when we get to a certain place in life when we can see the humor in it, you realize, even if it was just one of those things, what was the gift in that thing? It was just one of those things, just one of those crazy flings, one of those bells that now and then rings, just one of those things. It was just one of those nights, one of those fabulous flights, a trip to the moon on gossamer wings, just one of those things. If we thought of it, of the end of it, when we started painting that town, we'd have been aware that our love affair was too hot not to cool down. So goodbye and farewell. Here's hoping we'll meet now and then. It was great fun, just one of those things. Oh, if only they could continue. But time goes on, and Iman once said, love never ceases, it only shifts and changes. If we thought of it, of the end of it, when we started painting that town, we'd have been aware that our love affair was much too hot to cool down. So goodbye and farewell. Here's hoping we'll meet now and then. It was great fun, but just one. Great fun, but just one. Great fun, but just one of those things.
Oh, yes. I tell you. In another life, because I always say when I come back, I want to do this or be like that or whatever. I've always wanted to sing.
Oh,
Just to, not even sing, but stay in tune. I mean, I don't have to be a big singer or a great singer like you. I just have to stay on tune. So that's my next thing.
Okay.
Looking like you, staying on tune. Everyone, stay with us because we're going to find out all about what makes lovely Claude Hall sing and what makes her tick. We'll be right back. And did you not like that fabulous music with that fabulous young lady sitting here and the fabulous music that comes out of this gorgeous creature? I love the word fabulous.
I sort of gathered that.
I mean, it's like my word. The Pink Ladies, what's your word? Fabulous. That's what it is.
And excited.
And excited,
You have to be fabulously excited.
I love it.
wonderful.
Claude
Okay.
Hall. First of all, the pronunciation of your name.
Yes.
How did that all begin?
Well, in French, you would say Claude.
Claude.
However, that's a difficult thing for an Anglo-Saxon's
Yes.
tongue to get itself
Right,
around.
I know.
So I racked my brain and played around with, what to do and just I said, just Claude. Just
Claude.
elongate the O.
Right.
Claude.
So
And it works,
Claude,
see?
It works. And it does work. It's beautiful. So, an international award-winning songstress, storyteller, performer. Where did you begin all this?
I actually began in my 30s.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
because as an adolescent, as a young girl, I was so shy. I would.
Hello. I mean, really. It just behooves me to say that I just can't believe it. I just can't.
Yeah, and people who know me today can't believe it either. But
Right.
I recently had lunch with one of my old high school friends.
I bet they were blown away.
Yeah, we hadn't seen each other for 30 years, and we were both. She was thinking, I can't really remember. I remember her, but I don't remember her.
That's funny.
And she put her finger on it. She said,
You were quiet.
"You were the one who never spoke."
There you go. So what?
And you're making up for
Right.
it.
Yes.
So what brought you up?
And out,
And
out
out.
of your shell.
Right.
as you say.
Well, divorce.
Oh, that'll do it all the time.
Right, that'll do it.
Forget him. I'm out of here.
Exactly.
Good.
Around the first divorce, I wanted to take vocal lessons, like the
Okay.
first marriage, but he, again, I was still insecure and
And
shy.
not only that, sometimes they hold you down. I
Sometimes
get
they
it.
do.
Right.
And I think he didn't realize that he was
Yeah.
doing it actually. Because when I said it, he said, "So why do you want to do a thing like that?"
I don't know.
Right.
You haven't ever had anyone say, why do you want to give out those business
No,
cards?
no,
Never,
Right.
right?
ever,
Right.
Or or like, why are you? You're so energetic. Or maybe you tone down a little.
I am Pink Lady.
Yeah. So that brought you up a
So
little.
the second marriage, by that time I said, well, I'm not asking this time. I'm just
do
going
it.
to go do it.
Right.
And it was in an effort to learn to open up,
I get it. Okay, good.
to find my voice, literally, because I understood that with 2 divorces, there was one common denominator. And I just needed to learn to express myself.
Fabulous.
And I assume neither of those husbands were involved in performing arts or anything of the arts.
My first husband was a photographer.
Okay, well,
So
that's
he
all
should
right.
So
have had a good
he was-
appreciation.
Yeah.
Right, but he was a little jealous too.
Yeah,
Okay.
could be.
So
That's-
keep it
that
at home.
sometime is,
Right.
Now, you started in your 30s, you're saying, but you also did not only voice, but you took dance.
Yes.
Because, your movements are so beautiful.
Thank you.
And choreographed, you know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
just lovely.
Well, the dance started at a very young age, before
How-
I knew
Oh,
anything.
really? How
you
old
know.
were you when you started then?
It was when I must have been 5 or 6 years
I
old.
love it. Good for you.
You know, my mom didn't know what to do with us, so my siblings and I all went to dance school.
Now, how many siblings do you have?
I have an older brother and a younger sister.
Okay, so you're in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The diplomat.
Oh, and where were you born? What the?
In Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And my parents are from Haiti.
Okay.
So at home, it was Haiti.
Okay.
You stepped outside of the house,
It was New
it was
York.
New York.
Well, actually, the best of both worlds in a
Yeah.
way, because you
Yeah.
took the best of both worlds. Now, you speak French,
Yes.
and you did that because you went to Paris for, what, 17 years? You actually lived there?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Now, how'd that
Yeah.
happen?
As I said, I was very shy and I didn't know how to speak up, but I knew that my parents, being from Haiti,
Right,
they put Paris on a pedestal.
yes.
And if I had asked to move to Manhattan, it would have been no.
But
So I said Paris.
go, my darling.
Yes,
go with
exactly.
God. I love it.
That's
love
the
it.
diplomat
Yeah.
coming through.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so now in Paris, what did you actually do?
You know, Paris, I like to say that New York was about my education and going
Okay.
to school and learning my manners. Paris was about my social
Yeah.
education.
Living.
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 Art.
With a big L.
Yes, art, architecture. You know, in Paris, they have meals that last hours.
Forever.
Yes.
They're romantic. They're
Yes.
romantic.
Yeah, so I learned to live in Paris and to
Now, what
enjoy
years
life.
were these? 30 to what?
So I moved to Paris, I was 20, and then I moved away at 37.
37. Okay.
Yeah. That
That
would
was
be
some good years, though.
yeah.
That was young
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, but I was married.
That's right. Okay.
I was
okay.
married for 14 of those years.
Okay. Okay.
So, so I was very, quiet. And then after the second divorce,
The egg cracked, and there it was.
and that's when I
Yeah, oh,
started
yeah.
to perform.
That's fabulous there. Now, in Paris, did you take lessons, or were you already singing by then?
No.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is that my first husband's father was a well-known jazz saxophonist.
Oh, okay.
And he had played with Bud Powell and
Who is
Miles
that?
Davis. His name was Barney Whelan.
Okay.
And he was kind of like the black sheep,
I get it.
Yeah. But we never went to jazz clubs. But he listened to jazz all the time on the radio.
Okay.
So in my fast forward to my 30s, when my vocal coach said, "Bring a song so we can work on it,"
I bet you brought one of
Ella
Oh,
Fitzgerald,
yes.
Sarah
Yeah.
Vaughan, the stories they told, and that's what spoke to me.
Well, I think when you're singing, am I right, Dove? I think when we both sat here looking at each other and looking at her, we got a zest of life and music, but of a story included in the music. The way you sang the song was a story, not a song.
Yes.
And that made it, I think, very, very
And the
different.
style was
Yeah.
unique as well.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit here and say, gee, she sounds just like,
No.
which we say often
Right.
when people are trying to imitate Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Right,
You
right,
have
right.
your own style.
And
it
that's-
just happens to be in the jazz genre.
Exactly. And I was very resistant to taking classes, and because there's a part of me that wanted my own artistic expression to show up. And there was a fear that if I went to take instruction from somebody,
It
they
would
would
cover you
try
up
to
again.
put me in
Right.
a box.
Box.
I've been told that I remind people of Eartha Kitt,
Yes,
or of
right.
Lena Horn.
Right.
However,
Well, even Edith Piaf told the
Yes.
story. We just had
Yes.
someone the other day, Pamela Clay, who
Yes.
does Edith Piaf.
Yes.
And I mean, blew us away with that
Right.
because she
And-
became Edith Piaf.
Yeah, and we were very, very privileged to have Carol Eglash-Kossoff here. Carol wrote When Jazz Got the Blues.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was a story
it was
of Duke
fabulous.
Ellington, and
Oh,
it
wow.
was amazing.
That must
Yeah,
have
it
been
wa- it was
amazing.
great. It was
And
a
Eric
great
Roberts had the band on stage, his whole
Wow.
band,
Yeah.
and they were just wonderful.
Now, you also, I overheard when we were coming in before, that you're in the fashion business.
I was in the fashion
Okay,
business.
what did you do in the fashion business?
Well, I got to Paris, and what are you going to do in Paris?
Right.
But I did go to right. I did go to Fashion Institute of Technology,
Okay.
and I
was
wanted to
Finham.
be, I wanted to be a buyer and merchandiser because they travel.
Yes, they do.
And then I found out that when they travel, the hotels aren't that nice. They don't stay that long, and I thought that's not the kind of
No,
travel I
no,
want.
Glamorous it is not.
No, unless you are in Paris with a name big designer. That's a
Exactly.
different story.
Exactly. So now, and years later, when fashion was no longer doing it for me, I got into interior design.
Oh, great.
And I worked for a very well-known French designer, Christian Liège, who's done the Mercer Hotel in New York.
Oh, wow.
And I fell in love with interior design. And with, when you're doing it with the consciousness that you are creating a space
Space.
where
Right.
people are going to come home to
Correct.
recharge.
Right.
And you're trying to create it to accommodate.
I'm curious,
There-
I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
In that space, what are two things, I'll just say one, what are two things that you always have? Maybe a different color, different style, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But what are the two things that you have that make them feel, I'm home?
Well, there's the upright piano.
Really? I
Yes.
love that.
And
Elton John would love it. His
yeah,
red piano.
yeah. And my space is tiny, and people walk in and they say, "You put an upright piano in here?"
That's
Yes.
fabulous.
And I
Couldn't
just
fit a grand,
yeah,
so yeah.
I don't play yet. I will one day.
Yeah.
But it's just sometimes I will sit at the piano and just there are melodies because when my songs come through,
right.
my own songs, they come through with a melody.
I love it. And what's the other thing that you always have in the place?
I will have always a good kitchen. I love to cook.
Even in a small space.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because, cooking can be so creative.
Right.
Even if you start with the recipe, and as you're cooking, like the scent, and then your mind starts. I get into a space when I cook, almost like when I'm singing.
Yes.
That all of a sudden, okay, this is the only thing I'm focusing on, and what am I inspired to add?
In France, cooking.
Yes.
Did you get into it? Did you take any lessons from some of these
My
famous chefs?
husbands knew how to cook. We had a deal. They would cook, I would do the dishes.
That's a good deal. I like that. Make the bed. Do the cook and all that stuff. I'll do the bed. I love it.
Yeah, but my first husband especially had lived in Milan for a year.
Oh, wow.
And in Italy, the men don't often cook.
Oh.
And then when they're living on their own, they're kind of lost. But he, being from Switzerland, his dad had always cooked.
Right.
So he got to Milan and he would cook, and then the guys on his floor would show up. And they would say, well, la mamma, she did it a little bit more like this. And he became the most amazing cook.
I love
So
it.
I was fine. Like his bolognese sauce, oh my gosh.
You would like that. You would like that. What's your favorite dish?
Oh, my favorite
And do
dish.
you cook?
I do.
Okay.
I do cook. And it's very simple because between the day job and the music and
Right.
you want to do something, really fast. So what I cook now is simple. What do I love? There are so many things. Pizza, for example.
I can't believe you're eating pizza. I mean, you see the shape, everybody? Like, hello,
My
pizza?
metabolism.
Yeah, it is your metabolism.
Yeah. But I think that if somebody told me that there was only one, if from now on I could only eat one
One thing.
cuisine,
Right.
it would be Italian.
Italian.
There's a freshness.
See, and I like French.
Yeah, I think
But I
after.
like the sauces.
Yes.
You see, which are fattening. But
Yes.
that's okay. I like. What do I like? The little things that are in the yard, but I don't call them in the yard. Did you like
The things in the yard.
that we eat
I
at
have,
La Dijonais? What do we eat, Doug? What do you eat at La Dijonais?
oh, I have escargot.
There
oh,
you
the
go.
things in the yard.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh,
it's
actually,
got
we don't
what-
eat the ones that are in the yard. Yeah,
Right,
they have
the
free
things that-
reign
right.
in the yard.
You know, but really, now I almost stopped eating that
Yeah.
because the minute I said I love escargots, and someone said, "Oh, but they're snails," I said, "They're what?"
Yes.
You know, what'd you say? They're
Yeah,
snails.
you actually had a similar reaction when you found out what calamari was.
I love fried calamari.
Me too.
And they said, "Oh my God, I couldn't eat that. That's like octopus." And
Yeah.
and I said,
It's what?
"Excuse me,
Yes.
it's what?" I mean, that
Yeah.
just tore me.
Right.
Actually, for a few months after, I couldn't.
Yeah.
And then I just said, "Stop."
Right.
Like fried calamari is nothing
And then
to
just
do with
go
it,
there.
and
Yeah.
just-
There's
just
a
go with
wonderful restaurant that just closed in Sherman Oaks called
Oh.
Cafe Bisou. They have one in Calabasas.
Right,
also.
right.
And she was tasting something I had
Oh.
that was magnificent, a Rognon cognac.
Oh.
And she said, "What?"
What is
I
it?
said, "Well, kidney in cognac."
Yes.
And then we had some sweetbreads.
Oh,
Yes.
But you don't eat sweetbreads.
I know.
You eat.
The sauce.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but
it's the
it's the thought.
sauce,
It's just
yes.
the thought, and it's well, like we like sushi.
Yes.
And he said, "Well, you have to have eel sauce." I said,
No,
"I have to have-"
actually, I said you
What
have.
was it?
No, I described that instead of soy, why don't you try this?
Yeah.
Okay, so she tried it.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
said, "What is it?" And the chef, before I could say, said, "It's eel sauce." And I said, "But there's no eel in it. It's like duck sauce in a Chinese restaurant. Has no duck. You
But,
put
Yes.
it
but
on duck."
words, but words.
Yeah.
Just
The
do
word,
it.
they're important.
So what
Yeah.
are you looking for now to continue to do? I know you have August Afternoon. Tell us
Yes.
about August Afternoon.
August Afternoon is the title track of my EP, and it is it's a story about one of my relationships that lasted many years. That's one of those things that is on and off and on and off.
I love it.
And so it tells that story. And
Is this on now?
yes, and it
See
can.
that? No wonder the glow. I'm looking at
No,
it,
the
there's a
story.
glow
No, the
somewhere.
relationship is not on.
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's long past. But we're
But
really
the
good
EP is
friends.
on.
The
Yeah,
EP is on.
Good.
But we're very good friends. And the funny thing is that when I gifted him and his wife, he recently got married, the EP, and he and I spoke after. He said, "Is that about me?" I said, "Yes."
I love
Because there are some, even though part of it is fabricated, there are some
key
key
things.
moments
Right.
that if you were there, you would know
I
that.
love it.
the
And when will
story
that
is
come
there.
out?
So that's already released.
Now, if someone out there in our audience
Yes.
would like to buy August Afternoon, how would they do that?
They would go to iTunes,
iTunes.
Spotify,
Go ahead.
and all of the major places that you can listen to music online. You can reach out to me on my website if you want me
And your
to.
website is?
ClaudeHallJazz.com.
Would you repeat that, ma'am?
And spell it
Yes.
for them.
Yes, ClaudeHallJazz.com. And Claude is spelled C as in Charlie, L-A-U-D as in David, E.
And when the time comes and this show is being watched,
Yes.
it will be in the lower third so that
Okay.
people will be able,
Right.
if they didn't have a pencil now,
Right.
to write it down.
Perfect.
All I can say is this was a delightful day.
For me too.
Really, you just exude charm, loveliness, and just that worldly savoir-faire. Normally, I would say
Good
savoir-faire was
choice for
yeah,
someone who spent 17 years in French. Savoir-faire is a lovely
Thank you,
expression.
thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I knew I
She's
picked
so
up.
on point.
I know. I mean, it's so on
But
point.
by the way, let me just share something with you for
Yes.
any of our audience that may be going to France and do not
Yes.
speak French.
Yes.
Do you know the one thing that you can say to endear yourself to any French-speaking person?
What?
Je parle français comme une vache espagnole. I speak
True.
French like a Spanish cow.
Yes.
They will laugh, and now they're your friend because
Yes.
they know you don't take
I
yourself too
Love
seriously.
it.
Yes.
I love it. Well, I'm definitely glad, my darling Claude Hall,
So am
to
I.
be your friend
Thank you.
forever. I mean, it just sparks. That's it. Your energy and your delightful personality,
you.
as I said, and your beauty. I mean, just shine through. Love your music. Love your zest for life. Thank you so much for being on Pink Lady Presents because it's all about life
Yes.
well lived. And
Yes.
that's what we do. So remember, by the way, to get one of my books, which is Get Up, Get Out, and Get a Life.
That must be a picture of
That must
it.
be a picture.
Oh, wow.
Get Up, Get Out, and Get a Life.
And where can you get it?
You could get it on Amazon, but you have to say, Get Up, Get Out, and Get a Life, Pink Lady. And then it takes you right to it.
Oh, perfect.
So there it is. God bless everyone out there. With delightful people like this, that's why we love Pink Lady Presents. And go on, pinkladypresents.com 24/7. 3 in the morning, you get up from bed and you're feeling good. Just tune on and see the fabulous shows that we have. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're just
you.
wonderful.
I'm
You.
gonna have my fling. I'm gonna live until I die. The blues I lay low, I'll make 'em stay low. They'll never trail over my head.